a limited edition podcast briefcase, something to take with you to have at all times to refresh your memory on getting off on the right start when you're getting into building for the web or using the medium of the internet. Okay, and that's really what I'm talking about, is the internet in a larger sense, the internet bigger than, the game you're playing on it or the people you're connecting on with it. It's all good. It's all good stuff. You just got to know that, like everything else, it has boundaries. Everything in this world has boundaries. And the internet is no different. And it's a very exciting place, but you got to know how to play in it. And if you don't, you're probably going to get taken advantage of, or you're going to get stressed out, or you're going to get angry, or, it's just going to start to piss you off. Now, everything comes in moderation. You do too much coke, you're going to end up belly up somewhere, puking in your pants or jumping off some balcony. Or you're just going to have a really good time and burn out and need to go on vacation for a few weeks. Either way, just want to wrap up here about domain names and tell you why the International Consultant Bureau was started, how it started, and what it's become today. Actually, I'll just tell you that now. So, my dad has a printing business, Scheller Printing. Actually, part sponsors of the show, absolutely. They just signed on here, end of 2011. Scheller Printing, Blueprint.com. Flyers, postcards, booklets, calendars, social networking pieces. I mean, they've got everything going on. They got QR codes. You want to do the thing where you get your website embedded into a digital file that you could print. QR posters, huge right now. Blueprint.com, Scheller Printing. Yes, printing. People still, they sometimes think, I'll just do this on the free business cards. Well, your free business cards feel like free business cards. They should. A business card should not feel like a tissue. It shouldn't feel like a magazine. It shouldn't feel like construction paper that you could bend and then it stays bent and it looks like it's half a day away from becoming rolling paper for some some addict somewhere or some very intellectual tobacco smoker. I love cigars, by the way. Anyway, Blueprint.com, Scheller Printing. That's where you go for all your printing needs. And also website stuff. They do website stuff too. So, a while ago, someone just wasn't paying my dad. They just weren't paying him, and it was way overdue. I mean, we're talking about a contract that was 60, more than 60. It was like a year and a half, some preposterous number. And I kind of got offended, because I was a young kid, and my dad always worked hard, sent me, to a good school, and, definitely told me to work hard too, which is good. But, he really went out there and did really good for everybody. And, it's tough. You run a business all day, and this ties into the internet. You run a business all day. The last thing you want to do is try to figure out this new medium called the internet, and everyone's doing it. So you're like, well, it's good for business. Well, is it? Is it good for every business? At this point, yes, you probably have to have some sort of representation out there. But it could look and operate however you want it to. And I can tell you right now, copying is no good. Don't copy other people. We're going to get into branding in a second. So my dad had this company. They just didn't pay him. I'm not going to say who it is. That's confidential. And I said, you know what? I got some friends in the city. I had one good friend at the time there, Mr. Clown. I said, listen, you have the paperwork? Yeah, you got the paperwork. So, which is another thing. Save all your emails that relate to your website. You get the domain name, get the paperwork, print it out, put it in a hard file. If you don't, save the email, write down the number. You got to keep track of all this stuff. Because what happens is when you're troubleshooting, and we'll get into that later, troubleshooting, you got to be there for it. Anyway, my dad had this overdue contract. I said, give me the thing. I'm going to get the money. Because to me, anyone who is that overdue starts to take advantage. And for whatever reason, it shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen because it affected me. Because if my dad's not making money at that time, I was in between college, so they're still working to put food on my plate. It became my problem through my family. And as all you know out there, nobody messes with family, right? That's one thing I think all peoples of the world feel. Who knows? There could be some very minute, obscure tribe floating in the middle of the ocean somewhere who it's their job to eat their own family. But the point is that it got personal. So I had some metal handcuffs. I handcuffed a briefcase to my wrist, put all the paperwork in there before I handcuffed it, of course. Put on the suit, the trench coat, all that. Went out to New York, met Mr. Clown, and we basically, we collected. And international, from that first journey, just the decision to say, hey, I'm going to get something, and nothing is going to stand in my way. They'd have to kill you. And I know a lot of people that run businesses out there that you care about, that you started yourself. You might feel that way about it too. Some of you might just be like, no, I'm trying to get out of this crap. I was supposed to start an internet company. I was supposed to make millions. But why do you think so many people start and then fail and start and then fail? It's because it's just like anything else. It takes timing, it takes dedication, and it takes a lot of time. You got to spend time with it. And not everyone has time to spend on the freaking internet. So the International Consumer Bureau did a bunch of collections. Then started morphing with my freelance web work, but I excelled to the point in the web where I felt comfortable enough to start to leave it where it was, because it'll always progress from where you leave it, to get into more motion graphics and design, and that suits me quite well. But I'm teaching the web. I'm still teaching the web. Graphics, code, everything, and stuff like this. So these are the basics, okay? So you get your domain name. You are now registered with the U.S. government with that domain name. In the domain name settings, listen to me now, because this is good. Be the administrative contact. That's why I told you, do not give the password and username to somebody else. You got to be administrative contact. Your administrative contact, you own all that information. All right, so you got your domain name. You get yourself on the if you got to log in to the domain website and get yourself on there, you do it or you call them. All these places got good phone service. Get on there, get them to send you a confirm email so it's locked with a date. The email with the date in your inbox, archive, print it, do what you got to do. If you're not into printing stuff because you think you're hurting the environment, you're not, okay? That's a lot of people spouting a lot of crap. You could print and use paper. Just don't freaking use it like it's going out of style. Have some, consideration. Please. Once you're the administrative contact, you're good. Now, your domain name is public. It's always public until you do something to make it private, which I'm sure is very similar to like getting a private unlisted phone number. You have the option for that. Most registrars charge more. If you're a public business and you register with your name under the business or the business's name, that's probably the right thing to do. That way, if people look you up, they say, oh, Johnny's Restaurant is registered to Johnny's Restaurant, or something like that. Or if Johnny's Restaurant is registered to Johnny Matullo, then you're set. Excuse me. All right, so you got domain name. You got $30 in your pocket. 15's for backup. 15, you get your domain name. You are the administrative contact. Do not let anybody else tell you you are until you see your name on the website and you get confirmation from the registrar. You got to do it. It's very minor. It's very minor. You got to do it, though, because you want ultimate control over your brand. And that's where we're headed right now. We're going to move on to brands. You have any questions, you call me. 310-356-7878. 310-356-7878. Reserve time on the website. hit up web services on the internationalconsultantbureau.com or ianscheller.com. Click on International Consultant Bureau. That's probably the easiest way to get there. No one can remember the name anyway, but they're not supposed to. So let's talk about branding.